We're ready to rock and roll. My phone is lighting up. I'm so excited. Today we're going to talk about a hot topic. This is a hot one, you guys. We're going to talk about the phone. Hey, I'm going to tell you a story and then I'm going to get into the meat and potatoes, the tofu and rice of it. Does that sound good to you guys? So I just want to make sure I'm live where I want to be. And then I am good. If you guys have any questions for me as I'm live, you can go ahead and shoot them in the Facebook group. I'll see them here. Okay, let's go. So years ago, this is pre-pandemic, before the whole staffless practice thing started, right? There I am in my office. My office manager had just quit. My heart was broken. Like all of it was just going on and all of it was wrong. And I had been in this situation before. I had been in this situation where I was like, okay, from now on, I'm not going to have staff. And then I would move the front desk to the other side of the office so that I could see the patients coming in and all the things. And I'd be like, the office looks so good. And I'd get it all set up. I'd have my sons and my husband come in and move the front desk and move all the furniture. And Monday morning would come. My practice members would walk in and they wouldn't even notice. And I'd be like, do you not see that every piece of furniture in this office is in a completely different place? And they'd say, oh, Jody, you're just doing it again. You'll have somebody new in the next. You know, if you haven't heard my story yet, I've had like 30 front desk assistants in the past 23 years because I couldn't figure it out, obviously. So one of the most important things I had to figure out when I decided to go staffless was, what do I do with the freaking phone? Because the phone rings a lot. It doesn't anymore though. And I'm going to teach you how to get there in a minute. So I got really good at creating what is now known as the voicemail message funnel. And the voicemail message funnel is literally a funnel where it's a catch-all. So whoever's calling the office, they're going to get what they're looking for on the answering machine or the voice message, right? Without my time being touched. And I got really good at this because I had to get really good at it. I got good at it because there I was again without staff and a really busy practice. So how was I going to deal with the phone? I tried this program called Grasshopper. I used Grasshopper for like 6 months and it made me freaking crazy. It was like dial 3 to get this and dial 4 to get this. And then like the 4 would go this way and the 3 would go this way. And meanwhile, you know, cell phones were becoming all the rage when I was using Grasshopper. And I would have moms complaining to me that they're driving and they're trying to find their freaking dial pad on their cell phone while Johnny's in the back throwing a temper tantrum because Lucy kicked him in the knee at school. Right. So none of it was working. And I had to figure out how to have a solution for my people to get what they need without my time. And that was the birth of the voicemail message funnel. And I have a really clear memory of one of my practice members, Deb, walking into her appointment early. And this was the time that I was getting my admin done. And I went to record my voice. There's a few different versions of the voicemail message funnel, and I'll explain that too. But I was going to record my voicemail message because I didn't think anybody was going to walk in. I didn't lock the door for whatever reason. And it was like 20 minutes before my shift was starting. And I'm notorious for like showing up 10 minutes early and walking out with my last practice member with all of the admin done. So there I was 20 minutes early, all ready to rock and roll. And I'm like mid recording and Deb walks in. And Deb was she owned an insurance brokerage at the time. And she heard me do my voicemail message funnel. And this is before the birth of Staffless Practice. And she stood there and listened. And as she listened to the recording that I was creating, I had it memorized. I didn't have to read it. I read it like the first 323 times that I did it. And then like 324, I was like, I'm good. I got it committed to memory. And I watched her jaw drop and I watched her she was wowed watching me leave this voicemail message because it's freaking brilliant. It hits every single stone. It turns every stone over. Whoever's calling the office, it's taking care of them without my time in the mix. And there she is running a business insurance company you know, she's got somebody on the other end of the phone. The woman's full-time job is to answer the phone. And here I am showing Deb, you don't need anybody to answer your phone. And here's why, and here's how. And I'm literally showing her how to do it. I'm not telling her about it. So over the years, since the birth of Staffless Practice, but I also want to say before I go any further, if you're listening to this and you want me to take a listen to what you've got going on, just drop the word call in the comments where you're watching this video, or email it to me or text it to me. Get the word call in front of me, and I'll make sure that my team reaches out to you and makes sure that you're a potential fit for what we're offering. And then I'll jump on with you and take a listen. Okay. Okay. So the pushback that we get with the voice, let me tell you what it is, and then I'll tell you what the pushback is, because you're probably already thinking the pushback. The voicemail message funnel is a catch-all answering message that responds to whoever could possibly be calling your office. It's not a script because everybody has different people calling their office. I'm a pediatric and prenatal chiropractor, so the people calling my office are going to be a lot different than the PT or the ND who's in the Staffless Practice Academy, who is, you know, high insurance, high volume, and works with the local anesthesiologist, whatever, right? So their phone calls are going to be a lot different than mine. Then their voicemail message funnel needs to sound a lot different from mine. So it's a catch-all voicemail. And it addresses all of the potential callers coming in. And we're going to get to, in a minute, how do you know who's calling? So the pushback that we get is, the biggest thing is, if they don't get a live person, they're going to call the next person on the list. That's the number one thing we hear. I'll also tell you that this is the number one thing in our program, that we have 12 steps to the voicemail, to the Staffless Practice Success System, 12 steps. The voicemail message funnel is step number 5. Okay, there are 4 steps before this. When people get to step number 5, they're like, holy crap, Jody, I cannot believe how much time this is saving me. Some of you listening might say, well, Barb's at my front desk and her whole job is about answering my phone. And then I'm going to say back to you, what if Barb didn't need to answer the phone anymore? What if Barb didn't need to answer the phone? And not only would it save Barb time, but it would also save your practice members time. The other pushback that we get is, our people want to talk to a live person. They don't want to do the next thing in the funnel. I'm telling you from experience that when you put a solution in front of the typical mom or the typical dad or the typical business person these days, they will choose to text you instead of call your office, because you are only one of 33 and a half things that they need to do today. Getting in touch with your office, making the appointment, getting the super bill, rescheduling, getting their kid in, getting their grandma in, getting an insurance claim is only one of 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38 things that they need to do today. They don't want to call you. And if they do want to call you, that's totally cool, you guys. Then create a solution for it. And we'll get into that in a minute. So those are the big pieces of pushback. Excuse me. They're going to call the next person on the list if they don't get a live person. And they don't want to do what the voicemail message funnel is telling them to do, which is usually to text them. You guys, you're wrong. Some people are absolutely adamant that their practice members want to talk to a live person, and that's totally cool if that's true for your practice. There are ways to serve that need. I've got a couple of practice members, no matter what I say to them, no matter how hard I try, they will never text me. These are people who still have the kitchen phone hanging on the wall, right? They want to call my office. So you know what? I have a solution for them. So let's go back to, how do we know who our callers are? And that's a very simple call study. And the call study is, you guys, super simple. Like, don't go crazy with this. It's writing down for a few days, or do it by memory. Who's calling your office, their first name, what time of day are they calling? This is when they're calling. One of our practices did the call study this week, and they did it based on the voicemail messages. And that's not the point. The point is, when people are calling your phone, first name, time of day, and one word to describe what they're calling. And what will happen is a pattern will arise. And when the pattern arises, you're going to see most people are calling for this reason. Some people are calling for this reason, and a few people are calling for this reason. That's the call study. Then you've got your categories, and I'm going to say pick 3. Then your voicemail message funnel becomes a solution for all 3 of those things, okay? I want to remember to get into talking about websites today because this is important. So my voicemail message funnel, when I did my call study, and I did this out of desperation. I didn't do this because I had a coach telling me to do it. You're welcome, you guys. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to get to the point of desperation. I'm saving you from it. Da, da, da. So here's what it looks like. I've got people calling to reschedule or some kind of a scheduling need. People calling as new practice members in my practice. And generally, I don't have practice members calling with an admin need because they already know to text my practice. But I might have somebody coming back after a long wait, a long pause. And we get into that when we have a really sharp recall program. So my voicemail message funnel is going to sound something like this. It starts with a warm greeting. Hey, so I'm going to say, hey, it's Dr. Jody, because that's how I talk. I'm not going to say, this is Dr. Dinnerman with Light Source Chiropractic. No way, because my people will say, Jody, what is wrong with you? What are you drinking today? So I'm going to say, hey, it's Dr. Jody with Light Source Chiropractic. I've been serving gentle care since 2001. Reaching this voicemail means I can't get to the phone. The best way to get in touch with me immediately is to text me. You guys, I don't look at my texting line. I don't look at my inbox. I never, ever, ever pick up my phone at the office. And I absolutely never, ever, ever check messages. I have a virtual assistant do all of that for me. I'm going to talk about that in a minute too. So then the next piece is we go into the 3 types of callers. 1, if you're a new practice member with an admin or scheduling need, wanting to get on our schedule this week, great choice. Go to our website. I'm going to come back to website in a minute. 2, if you're a returning practice member and you haven't been around for a minute, so glad you're reaching out. Please text us now. 3, all other callers. Here's the fair warning. This is another part of the funnel. Fair warning. All other callers are more than welcome to leave a message here, but it's going to take some time to get back to you. Again, texting us is the best way to get the help that you're looking for. And then I leave them with a really kind whatever. Thanks for calling our office. I can't wait to serve you with the best in chiropractic. That's it. That's the voicemail message funnel. So then what happens is I have like a busy typical moment in my office where I'm about to pull my hair out and like my pants are falling down and my phone's ringing and I'm eating something and I've got a baby who just threw up on my foot and now I have to pee and I can feel my cell phone texting me on my watch. And I've got, by the way, I have 8 people on the chiropractic tables and there goes 3 more people walking in. Sally's walking up to me asking me for a super bill and I see my phone ringing. But here's the cool thing. I see my phone ringing and I have a landline in my office. I see my phone ringing. I see it lighting up. The sound is not on. And I know that that is taken care of. I know that with all of the chaos and the storm around me, that piece is taken care of. I don't need to worry about it. It's totally cool, isn't it? Nothing distracts me more, nothing, than to be in the middle of that storm, because I have like a rainbow storm in my practice every day. I love it so much. And it is a storm. Anybody who walks into my office in a typical moment is like, what is going on in here? Because it's chaos, but it's really well organized chaos. And it's chaos with a whole bunch of unicorns and rainbows. Okay. So I need to know that I need to be touching every part of that storm to be okay with keeping all the balls in the air. Okay, we're moving it to now a juggling analogy. If I have somebody on the phone with a potential new practice member and they start saying the wrong thing, because integrity and the chiropractic philosophy is the core of my practice. No matter how hard I would train specific front desk people, it just wasn't congruent with their belief system, and they couldn't get it right. They wouldn't get it right, whatever it was. And I would hear that while I was in the middle of the storm with all the balls in the air, and all of the balls would come tumbling down. I would lose my rhythm, I would lose my cadence, and I would be focused on what was happening at the front desk with the phone. It would make me crazy. I couldn't do it. And because of that discrepancy, out of desperation, I became staffless. I figured out a way to do this. And the only way I was going to be able to do this is if I had a system for all of the things that the amazing, brilliant, beautiful person at my front desk was doing for me. I had to figure out systems. People think that we have to keep hiring new people. It's the person. It's not the person. It's the system. Here's the thing, optimization plus expertise. You guys, if you're writing anything down, this is it. Optimization plus expertise equals success. You got to optimize your systems. You have to become an expert in your lane of genius with all of these systems optimized, and you're going to find success with it. Okay, let me talk website for a minute because I'm on today. I'm like clear as a bell, right? I'm going to talk website with you. If I have on my voicemail that the best way to schedule with me is to go over to my website, I need to make sure that wherever they're going to schedule with me on my website is super, super clear. So if I say to them, if you're a new practice member looking to schedule your first visit with us, I'm so psyched to meet you. I'm going to take great care of you. Go on over to my website and click on the blue button. Then what I want to make sure of, because the website is designed for the new practice member, it's not designed for anything else. That's the point of my website. These days, we can have a Facebook page, we can have an Instagram page, we can do all of this. We can have TikTok, we can have all of it, right? A website is a landing place for people who have admin needs. And yes, it can up your SEO rankings, but in the Staffless Practice Academy world, your website equals the partner to your voicemail message funnel. So if it's going to look something like this, if you're a new practice member with an admin or scheduling need, or with a scheduling need, awesome, we can't wait to take care of you. Go on over to our website and click on the blue button. They go to my website, they see a blue button, a yellow button, and a green button. Which button are they going to click? They might be too busy to remember, do I click the new visit or the learn more about us button? Which one? I'm telling them to click the blue button, okay? And it's the first thing that they're going to see. Blue button, green button, yellow button, whatever it is, whatever works for your brain. So it was a very interesting transition to start teaching this and then saying, oh man, we have to actually build these websites for people, because not only do we need to help them create the voicemail message funnel, but we're also going to give you a website to go along with it so that you don't have to figure out how to do this alone. We do the heavy lifting for you. Again, if you're chiming in right now and you want to learn more about the voicemail message funnel and you want to jump on a call with me, just drop the word call wherever you're watching this. I'll see it. My team will reach out to you. Okay, so I'm just going to check really quick to see if you guys are asking questions in the Facebook group. And I'm just going to give you a gentle reminder too, hi guys, that I go live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. And every Tuesday at 1 p.m., I'm going live on one of the 12 steps of the Staffless Practice Success System. Today, the point was to get across to you the truths of the phone. And I hope that it was really helpful for you. Again, the pushback that we get with the phone is they think that if they don't get a live person, they're going to call the next person on the list. And I'm going to say this with all of the love in my heart. If that's true about your practice, I want to double click on who's calling your office. I want people to call your office because they know that you're the best at what you do. If they're calling your office and they don't know that you're the best at what you do, then the first place we have to look is your messaging. What are you telling your community about the care that you serve? What are you telling your community about the problem that you solve in your practice? That's why people should be calling your office. And you guys, you know what? They'll wait for you because they know that you're the best, because that's what their messaging tells them. Do you get it? Okay. All right. I will talk to you guys next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Can't wait for the next one. Go make the world better with great care.